I don't actually agree with you, to be honest with you. I don't think they really do. And I think when I say stars, I'm talking about people that are, the best at their position in the league. Bobby has been that. I don't know whether it's safe to say that he still is that right now.
Fair.
Right? I mean, Geno's a good player. He's not in the elite, top 3 or 4 kind of quarterbacks in the league. Kenneth Walker might end up there at some point, but he's a running back, right? And outside of Derrick Henry, for the most part, they're all somewhat interchangeable. DK is one of the better receivers, but, there's some truly elite, unbelievable, build your team around them kind of guys in this league, and I don't know that he's one of them. Tariq Woolen, really good. I love what he does. And I think overall their secondary is going to be special. But is he that elite, best of the best? I think he's going to have to show it for more than 1 year. And here's the biggest concern I have about all of that. Because I think their depth and their sort of overall strength will balance out some of those. I don't want to say they're lacking, just that they're not like at the absolute tippy top of the elite spectrum. Everyone you're mentioning. And everyone I just mentioned, unfortunately, has the same thing in common. They don't play up front. They're not bigger than 275 pounds.
Okay.
Every single guy that you and I just mentioned weighs under 275 pounds. And while it's important to have guys who can run and important to have guys on the outside, I'm not saying that they're unimportant. I don't think they're as important as those big fellas up front. And you better have some dudes that can do damage on the front of both your offensive and defensive lines.
I'll start off by saying that you win this argument.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. No,
I'm going to cut that
time to go.
audio.
Please, Justin, hold on to that. G said he would be keeping it 100 today, and then he just said that I won an argument.
360 had texted in and said, no way, G, keep it 100. And so for the sake of the show, I'm going to keep everything very transparent at 100.
Appreciate that about you.
You win the argument because here's why. You made the comment, and when you said it, I could not argue, but I'm gonna go back till 2011, 2012 in a sec. But you said, yeah, G, but the Seahawks don't really have the best player at each position in the NFL. And so, which I would say you're right. Because if you go back to yesteryear, at one time, an argument could be made that they did have the best player at each position, but that argument wasn't made until after success happened.
No, you're right.
Right? So in this case, you bring up the trenches. You bring up the offensive line. And all of the players that we are naming did not have – we're not naming anyone under 275 pounds, which was a great point that you made. I'd argue, Salk, that if you go back then, I don't think that people were giving the respect to those in the trenches that we had then. Nobody gave Brandon Mebane that respect. Nobody gave really Red Bryant that respect. That dude had to wear goggles and glasses and had to get LASIK surgery. Nobody was giving him that love. Nobody was giving the Mike Bennett that was coming over from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the same Mike Bennett that was cut here in 2009, that credit. Nobody was really new about this Cliff Averill coming over from a Detroit team where his rookie season, he went 0-16. So the credibility of these guys on the D-line wasn't really there. And oh, by the way, if you want to talk about Chris Clemens, you want to talk about somebody who gets no respect, I'll challenge you to do something when you get a chance. Go look up how many sacks Chris Clemens had in 3 years. Don't worry, I'll help you. 30. Chris Clemens had 30 sacks in 3 years. So when you talk about superstars, maybe you're right. Maybe they don't have the superstars in what you're talking about. But what I'm telling you is maybe this Goldilocks that you guys talked about last week, maybe it points more so that you guys were on top of things because here is the setup right here, right, as they get ready to go forward.
Why do you think Geno's going to have a better year than last year?
Because he has an entire offseason. He just had an entire offseason, Mike Salk, where he is the guy. All last season, right? He goes into OTAs. He goes into minicamp. He goes into training camp. All of us, including Geno and the entire team, did not know Geno was going to be the man, did not know he was going to be the starter until week 1. let me put this in layman's terms for everyone listening at home or in your car. If you don't find out that you are going to be the top person in management, if you don't find out that you're going to be the key person in that role at your job, how can you prepare? Imagine finding out day one, okay, Charlie, you are now the boss. You're like, oh man, I wish I would have known this. Now Charlie does the job for a year. He comes back next year. Charlie gets to prepare in the offseason. Charlie gets to know that he is going to be the guy. When we talk about Geno Smith now, we don't talk about him as I don't know what he's going to do. No, we talk about Geno Smith like, oh, that's our quarterback. And by the way, just for those listening, these players, don't think they don't listen. Don't think they don't check the Twitter. Don't think they don't check social media. Don't think their mom, their daddy, their auntie, their cousin, friends, all them, don't think they don't report back to what you say. If there's one thing that I've learned about these players over the years, Mike Saul.
They got big ears.
They care more than us. It's like they
it's their
care.
reputation. I get it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's who's talking about you. It's their reputation that is always on the line and being discussed, and that's weird. I mean, I love what we do for a living, but it's also kind of weird. We sit around talking about what other people do. It's strange, right? And we judge what they did well, what they did poorly, whether we like them, whether we don't. It's weird that such a thing exists. I absolutely understand why they listen and why they don't like it. Totally get it.
Brock and Salk.
Weird.
No.
Very weird.
No. But no, hear me out for a sec, Justin. Brock and Salk are the morning show on the Seahawks flagship station. Fair?
True. I mean, just fact.
Accurate.
Yeah.
That's a
accurate,
fact.
yes. I mean, it's definitely fair because it's true.
Okay, that's a fact. Okay.
Yes.
So
undebatable.
I'll ask this question. What did Mike Salk say about how were you talking about Geno Smith this time 365 days ago? Let me hear it.
I had watched Geno Smith at the mini camps and thought he looked terrible.
Okay.
Now, that was what I was. I don't remember the exact words, but it was based off of that.
And like my guy Graz used to say, have an opinion. That's fair. You had that opinion.
Sure.
You are the host of the Brock and Salk show on the flagship station of the Seahawks. So you guys don't think that Geno Smith hears that? He does not hear about that he is terrible. He is still a human being. Now, here we are today in 2023. Now, sir, I want you to give us your opinion on Geno Smith.
He's not terrible. I mean, he's better. He's significantly better. He had a great year. Kudos to him. He was awesome last year. And watching him at mini camp this year, he looked like a starting quarterback. He was in command. He was in control. The ball came out quick. He seemed poised. All of the things that seemed to be missing a year ago when I was watching seem to be there now.
That's why he's going to have a better year.
Well, I was dead wrong last year, so we'll see whether I have any idea about this year.